In this episode of Success Through Connections, AI expert Terry Brock breaks down how beginners can tap into AI's incredible potential. Terry reveals the magic behind crafting powerful prompts to get the most out of tools like ChatGPT, turning it into your ultimate assistant, from gathering customer insights to planning your next personal adventure. He talks about how you can just not fear AI replacing human jobs. He frames it instead as a game-changing evolution. So tune in to hear Terry's prompt strategies, real-life applications, and why now is the best time to embrace AI for personal and business success. So I am thrilled to introduce today's guest, Terry Brock. So Terry is an internationally recognized expert when it comes to all things AI. And what I love about Terry is he has a knack for breaking things down, these complex issues about AI, and making it to where you can understand it and actually genuinely making it exciting. In fact, he just gave me a cool little tip right beforehand on some little settings in Zoom. So I'm excited to try those out. So Terry is a keynote speaker, a consultant. He's an author. He has been a three-time, not one, not two, but three-time TEDx speaker. So awesome. And as a member of the National Speakers Association, he has won the most coveted award. It's only offered once a year to one recipient, and that's called the Cavett Award. So I congratulate you and commend you, Terry, on all of your accomplishments. And we're so happy to have you on Success Through Connections.
Thank you very much, Heather. Really looking forward to this. Let's create some magic today.
We will. We absolutely will, because this is, so when you talk about AI, people get so nervous about technology, and I'm not a technology person, and I find AI super exciting. So I wanted to tell you that for me, I didn't know anything about AI until maybe a couple of years ago when it first started coming out big, like ChatGPT. And I'm a realtor, and I attended a real estate conference. And the keynote speaker was really introducing us to ChatGPT and to Bard. And I hadn't really heard of those. And so I was fascinated with all the things she was saying that it could do for you. And I was just taking those notes, writing everything down. I could not wait to get home and to jump into it. And I have been hooked ever since. I mean, I love it. So I wanted to go straight to, if you are a beginner in all of this new AI technology, you're a business owner, where should somebody really start?
Well, I think you want to start with the option of knowing what's available and what you really want to do with it. There's a lot that we can do with AI, and we need to put it in perspective. I think ChatGPT is the #1 program out there for that. Get a chance to know that. Go over to the University of YouTube. Where we go, we all learn, we're learning stuff there. Type in beginning with ChatGPT, beginning with that, what it is, and like, okay, what is this thing? What can it do for me? And then as a realtor, you want to put in there, how can I use this to be a better realtor? How can I use this to do better farming? How can I use this to get more sellers attracted to me? How can I use this to satisfy the needs of buyers? What's the market like here? And we're familiar with Google, but ChatGPT goes even beyond that now.
Oh, I love how Terry, how you say, you sound like my son. He says, when I ask him something about technology, he used to be really sweet and help me out. Now I guess I've asked him so many questions, I know his answer, which is always, go to YouTube, Mom, and figure it out. So it's like, no, just tell me. But really, that's technology too. You go to YouTube and figure it out that way. And you touched on something just a second ago that I think is super important. And that would be the prompts. So will you explain to our audience what a prompt is and why it's so important that those prompts are good? Because I know for me personally, when I was first starting, I was horrible at it, but I learned, and I tell myself, pretend that the prompt or the chat is your human assistant, and you're talking to your human assistant, and type it in that way. So can you give us some more insight into those prompts and why they're so important?
Yeah, Zelda, you're absolutely right. The prompts are critical because you're giving it the instructions. Like, for example, one of the beautiful things that many of us love doing, those of us who like to learn, we love reading, we love learning, that you can use ChatGPT as an example to get a lot of good from a book. Here's the way you would do it. You would design a prompt that says, give me a summary of the book, name of the book, by, give me the name of the author, in 50 paragraphs or less, and put it in the language that a 10-year-old would understand. So what you're doing is you're making sure you're getting this book, you're telling it, condense it down to 50 paragraphs that someone like me could understand. A 10-year-old, yeah, I can relate to that, and I really would understand it. And then I would put in there also any references that have been cited numerous times. Let me know about that. So what I'm doing now is I'm having ChatGPT find what is best in that book that other people have said, hey, this is a really good quote from it, and I'm getting it delivered to me that way. So then when I've designed that prompt, and by the way, those of you listening to this, those of you watching this, go ahead and try that yourself. Put it in there using your language, your words, something like I've just said. Put that in there, then you can get that summary real quickly. Because Zelda, you know that book you read a couple of years ago that was really good, but you haven't read it since? You can get that one and review it and refresh it. I love book. Matter of fact, you can see my bookshelf over here. I love reading books and getting things. I can go back and grab just the essence of it to be able to learn a lot. This can also be real good to say, okay, as a realtor, I'm not a realtor, but I would say as a realtor, tell me what people are looking for and what buyers' big concerns are during first quarter 2025, something like that. So then it's going to go out there and I might say, okay, I know that one, that I didn't know they're also interested in this. Look at that. So what it is doing now, ChatGPT and other tools like that are actually taking the place of our old friend Google. Because we used to say, and we still do, well, Google the answer for that. And that has now become part of our vocabulary. Today we can say ChatGPT it, or even more, perplexity this.
I'm going to get into that one in just a minute. Yeah, I love that one, and I learned that one from you. So, what I like is the fact that when you use Chat GPT enough, it knows your voice. That's kind of interesting and intriguing to me how I can ask it, give me some information or rewrite this. I'll give it a prompt to write I'll write something and say, please fix it. But you don't say, please fix it. I'll say, write this in my voice. And after you've been on it, how long does it take for this Chat GPT to recognize what your voice is? Because it will write it in my voice.
Yes, it will. What you do is it looks at what you're doing and it mimics that unless you tell it otherwise. Sometimes you might
Right.
not want that. So you can go into ChatGPT and tell it in a profile who you are, what you look for, what your philosophy is. So for instance, for me, I put it in there, I'm a professional speaker. I work with clients to help them achieve their goals using technology. And I believe strongly in a live and let live environment and philosophy. Do whatever you want to do in life, whatever, anything, as long as you don't harm others, you don't take their stuff, and you take responsibility for your life. And so what it did, when I put that in there, when I would ask questions about many things, it will come back now and say, Terry, this will work for you because it fits with your live and let live philosophy. Living peacefully, taking care of others, don't harm them, and live life with lots of peace. And so it's using that because I told it that's something I want them to know. Now, obviously, there's a lot of other things you don't want them to know. We do not want to put in the last four of your social security number. We do not want to know your mother's maiden name. You don't want that stuff in there because there's
Your
some
passwords.
yeah, exactly. There's some, I'll use the term ne'er-do-wells out there. I guess that's a little bit cleaned up. There's some more colorful military expressions I've heard, but we'll say ne'er-do-wells, and you don't want them finding out important things about you. So there's a way to do it and a way not to. But I would really recommend look into for someone's watching this and saying, okay, how do I get into it? Get in there and work with ChatGPT. It's now refined to a point where it really is safe and hey, it's fun.
It
So
is
you
fun.
can get
It's
in
a
there and
lot
have a
of fun.
blast.
So I had a professional speaker once. She posted on Facebook. Why don't you go? She said, I went into chat and I said, knowing all the things you know about me, give me a biography or tell me about what you know about me. And I thought, well, that's interesting. So I tried it. What fun is that? It came back with such incredible information about me because I've been doing it for a couple of years. It's like your friend knows you. And it came back and I said, oh my gosh, it's nailed me to a T. It knows who I am. It's fun. It's
Yeah, it
fun.
is. It's really good when used the right way. And even better, now you can find out about the other person, what they like. So if you've got a
Anything you know
seller,
about Terry.
yeah, or a buyer, and in real estate, that said, tell
Yes.
me about Mr. and Mrs. Smith, who might be potential buyers, for instance, for a property. Find out about them, what they do like, what they don't like, what everything you can find out that's publicly available. You're not doing something that's under the table or sneaky or illegal. You don't do anything illegal. I'd say do something that is legitimate, and so that they might look and they say, hey, they live in this city. They're moving to Jacksonville from this city. They really like this. They went to this university.
Yeah.
Those little things can really matter a lot. Matter of fact, I remember my friend Harvey McKay, written many bestseller books, and he told me, he said, Terry, I remember people say little things mean a lot. That's not true. Little things mean everything.
Everything.
Little things like that, you want to know that. When you can leverage ChatGPT and AI, hey, now it's your buddy. Now it's there helping you out and giving
So
you the information you need.
that is just such powerful information that I hope everyone is listening to this. It's AI. It's not just about how can I fix a letter that I'm writing to somebody? How can it help me? How can it help you understand your customers? What are some things that it can do to help you gain customers, retain customers, give better customer service? How can the business owner really use it to hone in on their clients or their potential clients?
Bingo, exactly. One of the things I did recently, just recently, you and I are both in the National Speakers Association. So as professional speakers, we're speaking different places. I was recently speaking to some folks who are in the delicatessen business, bakeries. And so I said, I put together a prompt with ChatGPT and with Perplexity to say, tell me what buyers are looking for at bakeries. And what are they looking for with delis, delicatessens in the next quarter? What kind of foods do they want? What do they not want as much, et cetera? And tell me that for the next quarter, what to do. And it came back saying, this is in more demand. We don't need this as much. And I said, and then when I was speaking, I said, how would you like to know what your customers are wanting more in the next quarter when they come into your deli? Oh, yeah, because see, that way you'll order the things they want and will not order as much of the things they don't want. That's big on inventory for them.
And
Because if
you
they order
know,
too much, then they've got stuff they
yes.
can't sell. Too
So
little, and they'll go to the competitors.
so what you said is so powerful. And for those that I know, I've had to use this prompt when you don't know what to ask,
Hmm.
what prompt, ask the chat, what should I be asking you? I'm like, well, if I don't know, I'm like, what should I be asking you about XYZ or about, the new market or like there's a new buyer's contract in real estate or like you were saying in the restaurant business. What do I need to know about whatever that topic is? So when you don't know what to, because you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. And you don't, I got to agree with you strongly, Zelda. That's what you want to do. What is it that I didn't ask? And also, here's a phrase that you'll want to use. Those of you listening to this right now, you can put in the phrase, act as an expert in
Yes.
intestines, or if you're a heart surgeon, act as an expert heart surgeon who knows this and ask about this and this and this. As a matter of fact, Gina, my fiance, and I will often sit around the kitchen table, say on a Sunday, we're talking about different things, and we'll have sometimes a question about medicine. Well, neither of us studied medicine when we went to business school. They didn't cover that for us in business school.
Right,
Right?
right,
What we can
right.
do is say, act as a surgeon who is a medical doctor who knows this. What do you know about this? Tell me in medical terms and put it in the language that a 10-year-old would understand. Now,
Yes.
that does not mean at all that you can say, I'll use that instead of my medical professional. No, 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 no. What you do is it's giving you information, and then you take that information to your physician, a certified, honest to goodness medical professional, and you say, here's what it told me, doctor, what do you think? But you see, it's cutting things down to size so we get a better understanding of it and go, hey, this is nice. So remember that phrase, act as an expert in, or act as a surgeon who does this, or act as a dental surgeon who knows this, whatever the thing might be, or a lawyer who specializes in copyright law, if you want to know something about copyright. You see the capabilities of this, it is enormous.
Yeah, I'll ask it. I'll go, you are an expert at marketing in real estate or in speaking or whatever it is, the subject that I'm working on. And I can ask it to use the tone of a professional, but make it a little bit more friendly so that
Yeah.
it takes off that edge. So let me switch gears for a second because you mentioned something earlier that I discovered by listening to one of your podcasts, and I loved it. I loved it. You spoke about perplexity. Tell us about that. I just think it's so awesome. It's just awesome. Tell us about perplexity.
Yeah, it really is. It's a competitor to ChatGPT
Yeah.
in a way, but I like to use both of them. And rather than one or the other, it's not either or, it's both and. And
Yes.
in journalism, in undergrad school, I studied journalism, and I've been a journalist for papers. We have a rule that says if you've got a story you're doing, you've talked to one person, they'll tell you something. That's nice, but you don't take that as the absolute truth. You want three non-corroborating sources. So you ask this person that, they'll tell you something. Oh, okay, that sounds good. Let me go over here and ask this person, non-corroborating. They don't know each other. It's two silos. What do you think? And they say the same thing. Oh, okay, we call that a coincidence. Then the third person says it. We go, oh, it must be a trend. Now, I'm joking here because could all three of them be wrong? Sure, they could, but you got a little bit more reliability. So I like to use ChatGPT. I'll use Perplexity, and then within Perplexity, I'll use one called Claude. Claude gives me the ability to do even more. They each have their strengths and weaknesses. So now I'm getting a combination of at least three. It's really ensuring more that I can do it. But with Perplexity, it's giving me the ability to ask, not just to get searches, but to get answers. This is what it's doing. It's now actually in today's version. I just noticed this yesterday. It allows you to substitute Google search and use Perplexity. So now when on my computer, I do a Google search, instead of it searching Google, it's searching Perplexity that gives me richer answers
It
and gives me a
does.
lot more.
It
And
does.
matter of fact, one of the things I used just this morning, I'm thinking, those of you that are watching this, that are listening to this, you can use this. I write a regular post that goes out Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday to our list, tell them about great ways they can build their business, great ways they can learn more. And I use what Perplexity gives me with a writing focus. What that means is I just click on a little button, and then instead of it being aware of the temperature here or the current news over here or those things, it puts on blinders and says, okay, we're going to focus on making Terry's writing better, watching for spelling, watching for grammar, putting it in a certain style, in a certain tone, looking for humor where appropriate, looking for facts and information, all of that that a writer would want. So it's like I'm bringing in all of this. Perplexity gives me that ability, and it gives you a focus that we don't have on some of the other tools.
I love it. So moving a little to other AI forms, I know that I guess it was a couple of years ago. Most people probably saw it if you watched 60 Minutes. They had a show on AI, and not just it wasn't chats and all that. It was more machines, and they were talking about how they had this AI um, computer machine that was going into the fields, and people were concerned because it was taking away some of the lesser jobs. And their take was, well, it may be taking away some of the lower level jobs, but it's also bringing in jobs because somebody has to maintain those machines that are the AI machines. So, can you address the fear that some people have that AI is going to take away their jobs? What are your
Yeah,
thoughts on that?
yeah. First of all, we feel for people that are concerned about that because that's natural. We see machines coming in and taking away jobs from people. Matter of fact, that's happened throughout the centuries. We saw that, for instance, in farming. Years ago, hundreds of years ago, the way you tilled a field, which farmers tell me is very important, is they took the cattle, the horse, the donkeys, whatever, and they would go out and they would till the soil. Have to do that. That's important. So they did it, and they got people that were really good. Well, now we use machines. Tractors do that much faster, easier, and it's safer for human beings. Most reasonable people would say, yeah, we're glad we have the machines to do our farming versus using donkeys or oxen or whatever that they were used then. Same thing applies today. We've got tools that are going to help us to do it faster and easier. And just as it's been throughout the centuries, we got to adapt. We have to
Yeah.
think like the United States Marines: improvise, adapt, and overcome. So you improvise, you adapt, you overcome, you've got to learn. So to say, well, I'm going to kind of sit back, pop my feet up on the desk, lace my fingers behind my head, and just take it easy. Hey, Sparky, it doesn't work that way. Okay. Welcome to planet Earth. It works a little different here. We
We
got to
evolve.
constantly learn and adjust but there's enormous opportunities. So that what we can do today is the farmer from 200 years ago that was behind the donkeys and plowing the field, now a person in that can be a farmer and make more money with a safer and easier job than ever before because we have used the technology. So I would say dissolve the fear of it and embrace technology. And as another example, we know that flying today is the safest form of transportation. If I get on a plane here in Orlando Airport and I fly to Detroit or Los Angeles or London, wherever, I know it's the safest form of transportation because they've done their due diligence. They found out what to do. Have people died in airplanes? Well, yeah, unfortunately, we've had crashes. It's been terrible, but we learn from what went wrong.
Yeah.
We learn and we make it better so that now our airplane's 100% safe. Well, we never reach 100%. Again, welcome to planet Earth. This is how it works, Eric.
Nothing's perfect.
Nothing's perfect, but
Nothing's
it is
perfect.
the safest. So AI is something you want to study. Realize there's all kinds of new opportunities out there and don't let it pass you by. Get in there, study. And again, the University of YouTube, we're putting that in air quotes with a little tongue in our cheek, that, yeah, you can learn a lot there. And that's where it is. And one of the places I would recommend to go on YouTube, Stark Raving Entrepreneurs. That's our channel.
Yes.
Go to Stark Raving Entrepreneurs. I'll even pay for it. How's that? Okay, yeah, it's free anyway. But you go over there and you can watch the videos that are there and have some fun. And if you've got a question, by all means, just drop me a note.
It's great. It's a great channel. I listen. So
Well,
let
thank
me
you.
ask you this. So this is all great for those people who they have a business. I know a lot of people who are retiring or they're not in business, but AI still is a wonderful tool for them. I know I'll give you an example, and I want to find out some other ways that people in their personal lives can use AI. I will say that for me, I used to be in a previous career, I was an event coordinator and planner,
Mm.
and I like to throw parties. So recently I said, okay, I've got a theme that I want for a party. And I went into chat and I said, this is the theme I want to have. Give me 5 food items that will complement this theme, 5 decorating ideas for this theme, and 5 entertainment ideas for this theme. Hello, that was strictly personal. It gave me some great ideas that I would have not otherwise thought of. And I bet you hadn't heard that one before.
No, I think that's a brilliant idea.
I did
And
that just
it's
the
a
other
good
day and
example.
I was like, "Oh, I love this." So that's one way you can use AI in a personal way. What are some other ways that someone could use AI personally? Maybe it's for financial planning and budgeting. Just share with us some ideas on how you can use it for your personal gain.
Oh, yes, several ways. It's almost unlimited. We got 16 hours for this. We did have 16 hours there, right?
That's
Oh, we
coming
can
up.
do it.
That's
There's
coming
no
up.
problem with it. But you can do it, like you said, with financial planning, where you could say, act as an expert in financial planning, a certified financial planner, or act as a certified public accountant, something like that. So you're thinking like those people. What would be a good investment for someone who has this income, has this much to invest, wants to do this kind of thing, lay out your objectives? What would you recommend? And what would you recommend to avoid? Et cetera. Now, again, that is not going to take the place of your real CPA, of your real financial planner, but you take it to them and say, this is what they gave me, expert who's really a professional. What do you think? So you can do that. Another feeling might be, let's say you're taking a trip somewhere and you're going to travel from Jacksonville and you want to go up to Michigan, for instance, whatever. You want to go to Detroit. Well, you can say, what's the best way to get there? Give me the best route. And once I get there, I like this kind of hotel. What would be something in the Detroit area that would be like that? Or I also like this ballet. Do they have any ballet scenes or theaters or something going on in the time frame that I'm going to be there from Detroit, maybe over to Lansing or down to Jackson or something like that?
You could even ask it if you're making a trip is tell me some back roads and some interesting sites to stop at that are not the typical sites that a tourist would go see.
Absolutely. And tell them the things you look for. Because see, what you might like might not be what someone else likes. And you can go, I really like ice cream. And show me along the way the best ice cream shops on the way within a 50-mile
I
radius of
love
that.
it.
And it'll come back based on what others have said. because it's doing its research to say, wow, over here at Harry's Ice Cream Factory, I'm making this up, okay? Harry's Ice Cream Shop here, they have the best chocolate ice cream, and their strawberry is to die for as well. And you go, oh, well, I got to swing over here when I'm heading up 75. I got to swing over here, maybe go past Columbus, and we're going to do this over here, this thing. So this is just a little bit of what ChatGPT can do for you. It is flat out amazing.
It is absolutely amazing. Whatever happened to Bard? Because I never hear that one anymore.
Bard they replaced, and now they call it Gemini. So Google is now changing that, some things. They're doing many other tools. They've got tools that'll help you to learn. There's one we discovered just yesterday called Learn About. That got me excited because I like to learn. Gina and I both like to study that and look at that. And they've got a tool called Learn About that will teach you any subject you could think of. And they're pulled from different sources and give it to another one called Notebook LM. Gives you the ability to combine different kinds of sources, create your own tools for that. And so this is where it blows our mind, with jaw-dropping, magnificent. Feed in like 2 or 3 PDFs or MP3s, audios, and then it can take that and have it tell you about what Zelda likes about this. And they'll have 2 professional voices, sounds like real human beings, a man and a woman, come back describing exactly what you recommended in your video, in your audio.
Wow.
And you'll hear that and just go, this is amazing. It's like 2 people, professionals on a podcast talking about you and what you did and putting it there. This is what and it helps with learning. So those are some of the things that Google is doing right now. We cheer them on and say, hey, thank you, Google, for all that good stuff. And by the way, it's free. So Zelda is free in the budget for you.
Free is good. Free is good.
Yeah,
You can up it. I know that I recently upped my ChatGPT, but for the graphics, they're not so great, but that's okay. I get ideas from it and I go, okay, I can take that idea and I can tweak it on my own. But Terry, this has been phenomenal. I knew it was going to be exciting because I just love this subject. So I just want to thank you so much for being part of Success Through Connections, our podcast here. You've just given us some great information about how we can use AI, not just in our business, but in personal lives. And so for our audience, if you're like me and you want to learn more about AI, I would love for you to join us on December the 10th for our meeting. It's live and you can ask Terry questions. He'll be there. It's December the 10th at 3 o'clock Eastern time. So if you're on a different time zone, this is Eastern time. And I will also put in our notes here how you can connect with Terry and also how you can connect with the Alliance on December the 10th. So until then, Terry, thank you so much for being here and wish you a happy Thanksgiving.
Well, thank you very much, Zelda. Happy Thanksgiving to you and to others and throughout December, the holidays, however you choose to celebrate that. Look forward to helping you out in the future.
We'll see you all in December. Thank you again for joining Success Through Connections with Zelda. So I'll see you next time on Success Through Connections with Zelda.